Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Burns, the founder of the business of my art. We're continuing our SoulShifter series with Akinke Lucas, the owner of Reflection Art. SoulShifting series is focusing on those who participated in the SoulShifter retreats last year and who are sharing their stories about how they are being, creating, and providing a safe and loving support for our community. Please welcome Akinke Lucas.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous.
Excellent. So Akinke and I were actually roommates. We attended the SoulShifting retreat facilitated by Dr. Gerald Robinson in Ecuador in December. And so she was my roomie. So let's talk a little bit before we get into your company, Reflection Art. Let's talk a little bit about your experience with the SoulShifting retreat. What made you decide to go?
Well, I knew Dr. G. We went to a temple here in Tampa, Florida, and from the first day, we just made this connection. It was her and me and my daughter, and I loved her ever since. So I've been following her since then, and I saw her retreat. Now, I personally have been trying to find something that resonates with me in regards to the path. I have studied a gambit of different things. I don't have any particular religion. I don't claim religion. And so I was looking for something that was more close to heart. And the closest I came was EFI. However, it's a secret society type thing. People it's not as freely as, talking and helping with you. And not only that, but every place I've went or people I've came in contact who was willing, the energy didn't sit right with me. So when I saw G's, I'm going to go to a retreat. It was a spiritual retreat. I love her. Her energy is perfect. I know whatever she has going on is going to, work with me and help me. And sure enough, it was. Now, I didn't know that it was an apprenticeship when I signed up for it. So I was like, when I realized what it was, I was like, I never thought about that.
Yeah, because the thing in our interview when I interviewed Dr. Robinson, one of the things she talked about was, this retreat really wasn't a belief system, or what she does isn't a belief system. It's using the different elements, earth, fire, water, and air, as kind of a way to heal people and tools that we can use that can actually help people. So you get there, and what was your experience like? Was it everything you thought? Was it more than you thought?
Oh man, it was way more than what I thought. It was life-changing for me. I'm a nature person. I love water. I love trees. I talk to trees. I hug trees. I'm one of the person where if I see a tree that catches me, I stop and I commune with it. That's me. And so this retreat made me feel like, hey, I'm not the only, as people say, crazy person who does these natural things with, and communicate with the water or talk to the animals or the plants and things like that. So it was home to me. I felt so comfortable. And usually I'm not comfortable with people when it comes to my spiritual walk. I was so comfortable was there, and I was allowed to just be free and be who I was versus being this person that I may have presented to the world, especially when it comes to faith. And so it was way more than what I thought it was. And it was familiar. It was comfortable. It was something that I recognized.
Yeah.
That I knew, even though I haven't experienced what she taught, I still was familiar with it. So it didn't seem foreign to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we think about these things, a lot of these rituals that we have that either come from our Native American heritage or our African's heritage, it's in us. And oftentimes, it gets lost along the way. But I just believe it just comes out. And now that we're experiencing this shift, we're starting to see it reveal itself. But it's there, and it's always been there. And we just we got to have this mindset that we're not afraid to try things. So you get back. Now, you live in Tampa, Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, I live in Tampa, Florida.
Excellent. So your Reflection Art, nonprofit organization, did you start that prior to going to Ecuador, or is that something that's new?
No, I had Reflection Art's been around for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 years. In DC, I started Reflection Art working with the youth and in the inner city who was going through traumatic experience or been reunited with their family after coming from the foster care system, doing the theatrical program. So I was doing it there. I left DC and I moved to Florida to go to grad school, and I haven't did it since. And so since I've been in grad school, I've been trying to start it back up, and so this is where we at. And so the retreat just confirmed and forced me to get more on top of my game because I've been slacking with it. You know, going to school and stuff like that. And so my education just took me to a different level where I can use it better.
Right.
So
what's your education? What's your background?
My background is I'm a drama therapist.
Excellent. Okay.
That's what I went to grad school for, to be a drama therapist. I'm still doing my clinicals, so I'm not fully finished.
Okay.
Education part is done, but I'm just trying to get all the clinicals done. So that's where I'm at right now. So between that and education, that's my background. Actually, all three: education, performing arts, and counseling.
Nice. And so talk to us about Reflection Art. So what does that entail?
Reflection Art is in the beginning, it was just a therapy program used to heal.
Okay.
Because me being a former foster care child, that's how I healed, was through the performing arts. Okay. And so in the beginning, it was just that. And then it turned into drama therapy, which is exactly the same thing, but with more grounding.
Okay.
With more backing, if that makes sense. So before I was doing it intuitively.
Okay.
Now I'm doing it with the education and the knowledge behind me.
So describe drama therapy. So if a child participates or a youth participates, what can they expect? Give us kind of, if you can, a little bit about what drama therapy is.
Drama therapy is pretty much just that. It's drama that you use to heal.
Okay.
It's acting.
Okay.
The thing about drama, or acting, I should say, is that you're allowed to be someone than who you are.
Okay.
And a lot of children, when they're speaking of any traumatic experience, it's very hard to speak in, first person because they're vulnerable. And most people don't like to be vulnerable. But if I can play a role that's not necessarily me,
right,
but it might be something close to mine or similar to me, or it could be my story, but it's not me. It's easy for me to get everything that's inside outside.
Yeah.
Easy for me to learn, to listen. And so when you use theater, which is acting, playing games, art, because drama therapy is not just acting, it's a gambit of variety of arts, which, visual arts, dance, any type of performance, that's what it is. And so when you use those modes, you can walk into a classroom and we can sit down and do a writing class. And if we're writing and turn that, there's poetry or play or script into a performance about whatever it is that is the topic of that week, that day, et cetera, and we're performing that. You can have antagonists, which could be a parent who could be on drugs.
Yeah.
And have a student there who is working through some ordeal with their parents on drugs. So they could act that role playing out into those into the classroom without saying it's their story. So when you walk into, you never know what you're going to walk into when you're in a drama therapy class. It's so hippie, it's so fun. And because it seems like fun and it seems like play, you never know what you're going to walk into there and get. It's very emotional. It's like it can be an emotional roller coaster. So every day could be different, depending on the teacher. But
a very safe space for...
Very safe space, a very safe space. Everyone in there have to not only respect each other, but you have counselors in there who knows what they're doing and know how to take you from where you at to that high emotion, but then softly back down where you feel like you're loved and you're protected, which is what our children need.
Excellent. And so for the youth who participate, what's the age range that your program is focusing on?
The age range for the participant is 14 to 21. So
14 to 21. Okay.
14 to 21. That 21 is because you age out of the system at 21.
Right.
It's 18 to 21, but you have the option to stay after 18. And they're more articulate.
Yeah.
For what I'm doing. And you could use drama therapy for any range. I could go as low as, 4 or 5 or 6 years old. But for what I'm doing, I need someone who's able to, express themselves. And so that's why it's 14 to 21, because they have been through a lot. And society has abandoned them.
Yeah.
Everyone always look at the younger ones, the 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds.
That's true.
They start to phase out from being taken care of.
Yeah.
That's why it's 14 to 15. But everyone always take care of them.
Okay, second part, we're going to talk a little bit more about her program, Reflection Art, so stay tuned. So this is Stephanie Burns, the founder of the Business of My Art, and we're continuing our interview with Akinke Lucas, the founder of Reflection Art. And so Akinke had to go to a meeting, so she's joining us now live in her car. So we want her to be safe, so safety first. So if we get cut off, we'll just pick it up at another time. But Akinke, one of the things we were talking about was the youth. You said that those children, especially those under the age of 12, or they are usually the ones who are getting the attention. There's a lot of programs out there that's designed just for them, but then when you start looking at some of the older kids and that 14 and older, they're often the ones neglected. And so that was the reason why you chose that target group. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It is. That 13 to 14 range, where they start to have sex, they start to rebel and try to find who they are, is the stage that most of the time they end up in group homes versus foster homes. And they don't have the stability, and they've been treated a certain way. Right. It does start earlier than that, but you usually have more programs for those who are 12 and 13. They're usually placed in foster homes versus group homes. So, yeah.
Okay. And so the participants for this, now, are all of them, or those who want to participate, out of the foster care system, or is this open to anyone that parents or guardians or them themselves feel they could use your service?
It's open to, my focus is foster care children, because I feel that's a big need. But it is open to any youth. It is open to any youth, especially inner city youth who may not be in the foster care system now. They may have some connections to the foster care system. It could be from, maybe they was in a juvenile detention center. Maybe they was a teen mom or something like that. So it is open to everyone that's not in the foster care system.
Excellent. And so for those youth, are you targeting just the ones in Florida?
No. Believe it or not, I get more work in D.C.
Really? Okay.
It could be because I'm so familiar and I know more people in D.C. than I do in Florida. But it's not just for Florida. It's anywhere that needs the services, to be honest. I don't mind traveling to provide the services. So, yeah.
So if I'm an organization, or if there's organizations out there that's listening that want to get involved, whether they're part of the foster care or the juvenile system, whether they're, any nonprofit or school, university, or whatever, and they see this as a need, give them an idea of, is this something that you will come and spend a day doing, a week? Do you train other people on how to do it so they can carry it out while you're not there? So kind of explain to us how that will work.
It's a little bit of all the above. I can just come and do a workshop, which can be a day. I can come and do a 6-week program, which means I'm there for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks program for the children, for the youth. Whatever presentation is what they need. And because I'm willing to work with the children, the goal is to help start a healing process. And so that varies for different organizations. Some just want a week or a day. Some may need a whole summer program or a 6-week program. So it does vary. The teaching aspect vary as well. Some organization wants training for 3 days. Some just want an 8-hour training or a 2-hour training. So that also varies. So it's just based on the needs of the organization, to be honest.
Excellent. And if there's parents out there, and how can they get involved? They will contact you if they want their children to be a part of it, or is it that you go through the foster care system and then they provide the kids in terms of what youth should participate? How does that typically work?
Usually I go through the organization or the foster care system. However, if parents have an individual child, I really only do group-based.
Right.
So individual work is more of one-to-one counseling. And so unless they in Tampa or in Florida, I don't do that, nationwide. I just do that in Florida.
But if they wanted, so if you did something group-wise, so in terms of like a workshop, or if you're working with an organization and they wanted to include their children, then they can get in touch with you. So when there is some kind of group project or program going on, they can perhaps get involved.
Right. Children learn better by others. So
yes.
That's why it's group-based. It's more comfortable for them to relate and release when they're around other people who have the same problems that they do. So if a parent do have a child they feel will benefit from the program, they could contact me and I can let them know what I have coming up in their area, and then they can participate that way.
And what's the best way to get in touch with you for any of those nonprofit organizations, foster care systems, or even parents, if they wanted to learn more about reflection art and what you do? What's the best way they can contact you?
They can email me. They can email me at Akinke_Lucas at Yahoo, which is AKINKE _ and then LUCAS at Yahoo.
And I'll also have this up on the screen as well, your email address as well as your phone number, just in case people didn't get it. So,
or my telephone number is my cell phone number, or the organization, I should say, is 202-445-5034.
Okay. So you said you came out of the foster care system, so that is, I presume, is the motivation for you starting this program. Yes, it is.
I think I was probably around 14 when I was introduced to an organization that came to the rec center in my neighborhood, and they did little plays and taught us how to act and dance and all this fabulous stuff. And so through that mode and that organization, I was able to escape everything that was going on in my personal life. She didn't know I was a foster child until later on, when I could no longer escape those issues. It started to affect everything else I was doing. But that program, which was called Pen Vision at the time, allowed me to write a skit about my experience. And we actually took that skit at the time to different foster care workshops, or social work, I should say, workshops. And I remember that like it was yesterday, and the feeling of empowerment that I had. Yeah. The feeling of someone is listening to what I had to say. These adults are paying attention to me and hearing my voice and are willing to do something about it. And so that alone was a great healing point for me.
Right.
And I personally think that anyone that's going through any type of traumatic experience, they just want to be empowered and want to feel that someone's listening and someone cares. And a lot of times that's easily done on stage.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's definitely just art is always a good way to heal people. And so it's always a shame when you hear the possibility of art programs or funding getting cut, but we won't go into that. So what are your current needs? Are you looking for more organizations to connect with? Are you needing volunteers or employees? What would you say where are you today in terms of this business, and what do you need the most?
Organizations. That is what I need the most, is the outreach of the community, no matter where it's at, to bring this program to where they're at.
Yeah.
So any organization who feels that, hey, they got a they can put on plays, they can do dance and fashion shows all day, but there's a therapeutic component that's missing.
Yeah.
And so this is not just, oh, let's do a play, let's do some open word. This is just more than that. This is therapy.
Right.
And so, you know, it looks like that on the outside, but it's therapy. There's different skills that is needed to make sure that happens.
Right.
So yeah, you know, any organization feel that they working with a group of young people, especially foster children, and they need help in any fashion, then that is definitely what I need.
They should definitely contact you. And I know one of the things you said in your bio that you sent to me was, in addition to drama therapy, that you also looking into, or maybe you're already doing, holistic retreats.
Yes, for children. Yes,
for children.
Yes,
so explain a little bit about that and what's your plans there.
So my day-to-day work is I'm pretty much a social worker, the coordinator for those with disabilities. And some of those programs that I work with, what we do is we take those who are disabled and do like a summer camp program.
Okay.
And everyone's familiar with summer camp programs, right?
Right.
But when you have someone with a disability, they're totally different.
Right.
A regular summer camp program. And so that, you know, and when I went to the retreat in Ecuador with you guys, spun me. I was already thinking about it, and I went to the retreat. I'm like, oh, this is confirmation that I need to do this. Discussion of taking what I do away for the summer and use it as a holistic retreat to heal our youth hit me. And it was brought up. We brought it up in Ecuador and said, hey, we should do this. And, you know, that is something that I want to do as well, is take some of the things that I've learned in Ecuador and with the drama therapy and give that to the youth for, you know, a period of time, 24/7, around the clock.
And have you given any thought into where you may have your first one and the dates around your first one, or is that still in the planning phase?
That's still in the planning phase because that will require staffing. And so I haven't got to that yet. But hey, I'm open. I'm open for the spring of next year, and they have a gift to bring. I'm open to that.
So spring of next year possibly could be the first holistic retreat for youth, especially those in the foster care system, ages 14 through 21. Reflection Art provides not only drama therapy, but summer programs and wellness programs. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
And also,
wellness
I think, go ahead.
I said wellness all the way around.
Wellness all the way around and conflict resolution. So it's a great program, and it's needed because we do it with partners and community partners. I've definitely seen a lot of programs that are targeted youth, and there was a particular nonprofit organization here in New Orleans that were looking at more older kids, and especially those who are dropping out of high school. So, but it's very rare. So I want to commend you for finding a niche, you know, and using your experience to do something that you have passion and love to do. So I want to applaud you for that. So let's talk a little bit about you personally. What do you do for fun?
Read.
So you like to read?
Fun. I love nature. Yeah, I love nature. I love going hiking. I love going to the beach. Anything that's nature-based, I tend to do. So camping, those are things I like to do for fun. And the birds and the water in my spare time. Like me and my daughter, we try to go to a beach once a month and just, you know, a day. So
that is great.
That is what I do for fun.
Favorite food? Yeah. So your favorite food, you were saying that you don't have a particular favorite food, but you do have a favorite junk food. So what's your favorite junk food?
Anything lemon cheesecake, lemon pound cake, anything lemon. I love anything with lemon.
All right, so lemon cheesecake, lemon pound cake, lemon cookies, lemon lemonade.
Yeah, you know what? I do like lemonade, but I don't drink it much.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So if someone, you know, how would you describe you, or tell us something about you that other people just may not know?
My bite is harder than my my bark is harder than my bite. You know, I'm a softie. Most people don't see me as a softie, but I'm really a softie.
You're a softie.
Yeah, most people don't see that, but I am.
Yeah. And you know, I get that, because oftentimes when we're doing the work, we have to put on this, and it's not so much up front. You just have to roll up your sleeves and get the work done. And so, you know, you may come across like, I got to get this. And then, but that, you know, that personal side could be something completely different. We noticed that with actors, you know, they can be one way on the stage and in front of the screen, but a totally different way at home.
Yeah, that is true. I also find that as I get older, I realize that I have, you know, even in my personal life, I tend to come off like a lion. You know, I'm a mother all the time. But the reality is, I'm not that. I hate to use the word aggressive, but I'm a softie. You know, I'm a softie. Little things make me cry. You know.
Yeah. So what's your birth month?
July. Cancer all day.
Cancer all day. Okay, I thought maybe there was a little Leo there, but Cancer, that makes sense.
Yeah, no. Do I even have Leo? I don't even have Leo on my rising. Nope.
No Leo.
I have Virgo, but I don't have Leo.
All right. Well, what advice would you give to people who are trying to start their own company, especially, you know, the business of my art? We, you know, really reach a lot of entrepreneurs, but we reach a lot of artists and even performing artists who want to one day own their own business or maybe a nonprofit. So what advice would you give to them, who to those who want to start their own business?
Don't give up. I know that sounds cliche, but I remember for me, and as I give to you, I give to myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I remember when, you know, in the very beginning, when I started this production art, I was doing good, and then some bad things came across my way. Some, you know, not so nice people.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I shouldn't do this. I'm not going to be able to be successful at this. But then I had to think that this was not the first youth program that I've started.
Right.
This was not the first company that I've started. And even though this is more close to heart, if I can successfully run those, then I can successfully run this.
Yeah.
And so it's all about that confidence. So, you know, things going to happen that's going to knock you off your feet and make you sit down for a bit. But, you know, sit down and then, you know, go from there. So don't give up.
Excellent. And that's always good. And it's not a cliche, because, you know, starting your own business, running your own business, overseeing your own business, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's to stay relevant for years, you got to be involved for years, and it's going to take time, and things don't just happen overnight, and you hardly ever see that. When you see someone at the top of their game or they're very successful, that is years and years of hard work that went into it that people don't see. So it comes across like they may be an overnight success, but they're really not. And so I think that's excellent advice. Never give up. Something we have to continually remind ourselves, never give up. And when we think about our purpose and what we're called to do, we have to stand fast to it. It's our duty to safeguard those gifts. And so do you believe that reflection art is that purpose-driven calling for you?
Yes, I do. I had a dream, and this is what started me to do reflection art. I was, sleeping, and the dream was of children, or youth, I should say, performing on stage. And it was performing a play that I wrote, and I didn't write the play at the time, but I woke up like at 2 o'clock in the morning, or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to go back to sleep, and I couldn't. So I grabbed a pen and started writing everything that was in my head, and then everything started spilling out. And from that point, it wouldn't leave. And my thing is, what was it? Sister Act 2 had a saying in it. And she said, if you wake up every single morning, Sister Act 2? I don't know. But look,
one of the Sister Act.
Yeah, it was one of them. Somebody said it, right? If you wake up every single morning and this is all you can think about,
yeah,
then it was fit for you to do.
Yeah.
Until this day, that's all I can think about.
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, it was destined for me to do it, and so therefore I had no choice but to do it.
Yeah.
So
that's an excellent point. We can come up with venture ideas in terms of how to make money. I've had different ideas of, inventions in terms of money making, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there are the things that drive me every day. And so when we think about what's going to stay or what we're willing to commit to long term, it is that thing that just keeps nudging us, telling us to do it and to continue to do it. So I shade to that. Well, Akinke, this has definitely been my pleasure. I'm very excited again. She was my roomie in Ecuador for the Soul Shifting Retreat. If you're interested in attending the Soul Shifting Retreats in June, September, or December, go to www.soulshiftingretreats.com. And of course, we always thank you for being a part of the Business of My Art. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Business of My Art, or Facebook at The Business of My Art, and we're at Twitter, Business of My Art. If you want to get in touch with Akinke Lucas, AKINKE_LUCAS at yahoo.com. Now, you have a Facebook page as well, or you prefer email?
I prefer email.
Okay. So use email. If you're an organization that would like to learn more about her services, please contact her. If you're a potential intern or volunteer or staff or want to join her staff, contact her. And if you are a parent or know someone that could benefit from her services, or have a child that could benefit from it and want to learn more about upcoming events and workshops, then by all means, please get in touch with her. So Akinke, any last parting words before we go?
And come on out to Show Retreat. It's awesome to change your life forever in a good way.
Yes.
In a good way.
I totally agree. The Soul Shifting Retreat was everything. And what we're doing, this co-creation, would have never happened if neither one of us would have gone to the Soul Shifting Retreat. So didn't know each other, met each other there. It's amazing how you can be very close to each other. I live in New Orleans, she lives in Tampa, but you meet, on the other side of the world, and you were my roommate, and, here we are now doing this co-creating venture. So yes, always go. So anything else before we sign off?
Not that I can think of. Just, look me up, shoot me an email, even if you don't think that, or you're not sure, I should say, exactly what I do, but you have an interest, shoot me an email, and I can explain it, and I can walk through how I can help your organization or your family, and we can go from there.
Excellent. And so Akinke is not only bringing experience as a foster child herself, but the educational background and having worked in the field of social work as well as theater performance. So she's bringing a wealth of knowledge to the table. So by all means, please, AKINKE_LUCAS@yahoo.com. Send her an email. I'm Stephanie Burns, the founder of The Business of My Art. We will continue our soul shifting series where we will highlight a different soul shifter every week. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.